Ooh, that looks tasty. Welcome, folks. Today the Hungry Gamer is back with another con overview recap. And I know this is the third one of these I've done recently because I had KublaCon, which ran right into Origins, which ran right into RageCon. It's the first time I've been to RageCon. And this is one that I've had people tell me I should come to for several years. Johnny Pack has been saying for years, come to RageCon. Jeremiah Slack from Geek HQ has been saying, come to RageCon. And I've always said, no, I'm not going to. This year I finally went. I got in my car and I drove there. And first off, let me just say, being able to drive to the convention was great. No planes, less expensive in the long run. I could just take whatever games I wanted, pile them in the car, take food. Really like that. Really dug that, but that's not useful for any of you. But to get right into it, all in all, this con is really well run. I mean, I didn't see any issues with the setup, with the events, ticketing for the events, getting your registration done, finding where you needed to go, just flawless. I'm sure there are some people that had issues, but I didn't see any of them. I didn't hear about any of them. No one was griping. And that's fantastic. It was easy for me to get through, get what I needed, figure out where I needed to go. And for the first time ever, I actually ran some events there, which I'd never done before and I didn't even think about, but it was a blast. I got to run games of Merchant's Cove, which I got to do with Johnny Pack. I got to run a game of Lunar Rush. I got to run a game of Court of Miracles, and I just had a great time. The location was at the Nugget Casino convention area. It's not a convention center, it's also a casino, and it was great. I mean, there was so much space in between each of the tables. There was so much space to game. I never felt like I was being squished anywhere. It was great. I keep saying it was great. They even had this awesome program with the Rage Bucks that if you're in any of the events, you get Rage Bucks, and they had these raffles going, or these drawings, I should say, going all throughout the day, and they would just pop right up in your email and on the website what badge numbers had won, and it was just immaculately run. Immaculate's not the right word. That means clean. Yeah, clean. It was really clean. Just an awesome experience. There were some other special guests there that I got to hang out with and talk with, and I'm going to pause here. He's going to be so mad at me. Maybe. I don't know. But Ben Maddox from 5 Games to Doomsday was one of the special guests, and he was out there. And this, to me, was the greatest moment of my summer so far. And it comes at his expense, and I don't want him to feel bad, but it was so funny to me. So we're there, and the head of a RageCon, or the marketing person at RageCon, I don't know exactly who it was, said, "Hey, Ben, Channel 2 News is here. You're going to be on the news." And so he talks to the news, and he's feeling good about himself. Then I was chatting with him later, and I said, "Oh, Ben, come on, we're going to get you on Channel 8 News or whatever." And he's another little interview, and all this stuff's going. And then late that night, I'm playing Marrakesh. I'll talk about that in my Games of the Con list. And I'm playing Marrakesh. I'm sitting there, it's late at night, and then Henry Audubon, designer of Cosmoctopus, designer of Parks, was also there. He was sitting down, we're just chatting. Ben comes, he sits down, and he's like, I was on the news, and he had messaged his girlfriend that lives in Germany that he's on the news, and it's going to be great. And he sits down, and he takes out his phone, and he's, all right, let's watch this, I'm on the news. And he finishes, he's like, I wasn't on the news. And it was so tragic and devastating. It was amazing, because then he was looking at, well, who did make the news? And he's like, well, the cosplayers made the news. Why did I make the news? And it's not as funny to you. I know. But in the moment, he was feeling so good about himself, and then just boom, right in the ego. Oh my God. It was so funny to me. And then the coup de grace. The next morning, I came in, and I saw him in the morning. He was staying in the hotel. I was staying elsewhere. And he's like, look at this message I got from my girlfriend. And it was just a message on his WhatsApp. And it said, oh, send me the link. Because he had told her to. He had told her to. He was going to be on the news before he checked, before he looked. And it was a sitcom made real. Oh, it was so beautiful. And in my heart of hearts, I feel his pain. I do. I feel it, and I'm sorry that it was. Oh, it must have hurt, but oh my gosh, it was so funny. It was so funny to me. I'm a bad person. That's all I can say. But you're not here for the Schadenfreude of me laughing at Ben. You're here to hear me talk about RageCon overall, which was fantastic. Just fantastic. I will definitely be going back, and I definitely think you should go too. This and KublaCon, as far as small conventions go, I'm not talking about the super tiny, tiny, tiny conventions, which I love, but multiple thousands of people going to conventions. I think these are the top two that if you can get out to these places, you really should. This was a really fun con to be at. But let's talk about the games that I played. Now, as I always tell you, I'm ranking these games, and this doesn't mean that I don't like the last one on the list or whatever. It's just in the mood I was in, the feeling that I had, how tired I was, what I've been doing lately, whatever. These are just the experiences with games I had that were the most fun. So, starting at number 11 is a game called Glom. And this is one that Grant Lyon introduced me to. It's a party game where you get a phrase that everyone knows, let the cat out of the bag or whatever, and you have to rephrase it in a way that doesn't use any of the words in the original phrase. Then there'll be a rule, which will be you have to only use words that have an E in it, and then like a goal where the person with the most vowels that aren't E gets the win if everyone manages to make this new phrase or whatever. And it's a fun game. As I've mentioned before, I don't love party games. I mean, there's some that I enjoy, and I'd certainly have some on my shelf that I bring out every now and then. But it was a fun, interesting twist on a word game. I definitely enjoyed it. Number 10 is one called Tome. And this is one that I recently reviewed. And it's this cool trick-taking game where every card you play is a different spell, which can kind of change the board state. And I had a good time with this. I got to play this with Carla and Jeremiah from Geek HQ, and I wanted to sit down and play games with them forever, and I had a great time with it. I do think, and I've said this in my review, that this is a game that is best at 4. The 3-player variant is fun, and we had a good time. We actually played it twice, back to back. But I think it's best at 4. But Tome, I dig this game, and it's one that you should check out. I think it might be on Kickstarter right now. I'm not quite sure. Number 9 is Scram, another one that I should have a video out very, very soon, and was very high on my list at Origins. I think it was number 2 at Origins. And this is another game that is just a really good game. The reason Tome and Scram are towards the bottom of the list is I was just in the mood for something crunchier this weekend. And Tome and Scram are light, trick-taking feel games, even though Scram is not a trick-taker at all, but you play with a teammate across the table. And they're both great games. I had a great time with them. Number 8 is Marrakesh. This is one of the... I actually have not played many Stefan Feld games. This is one of the first ones I played. I think it's actually the third. And my good friend Corey Thompson from Dice Tower Now, yeah, I'm name dropping that. What's up? Hi, Corey. But we always are at the same cons, and we never game at cons. We just don't ever do it. And I said, we're going to game. And he said, I'm running Marrakesh. He's like, I don't know if you're going to like this one. Well, I said, nope, we're going to do it. I got in, and it's a really fun game. I really enjoyed it. And it's one that I never would have played if Corey wasn't running that event and told me to play this game. And it's one that I'm hoping I'm going to get to play again. It's a very, very fun. It's longer when it comes to Euro games than I usually like. There's a lot of information you have to learn to be able to play the game, but a very cool game, and I really enjoyed it. Number 7 is Lunar Rush. And this one actually falls down a bit to 7 because I was running the event and teaching it, and no one at the table had ever played before at all. And one of the things that happens to me in general is when I'm teaching a game and playing a game, if there's any serious amount of rules to it, I'm always less focused on the playing myself and more on, okay, making sure you understand, are you guys having a good time? And so that's why Lunaris actually is down to 7 when it was just number 3 at Origins, 2 weeks ago. But still, really digging Lunar Rush, and everybody that played Lunar Rush enjoyed it, and it was fun to get to play with an almost finished deluxe copy. That was very cool. Number 6 is the Johnny Pack Super Secret Game. I'm not allowed to talk about it. I'm not allowed to tell you what the theme is. I'm not allowed to tell you anything other than, oh, I'm going to say this. There's resources and meeples in it. I can tell you that. But this is a game that's recently been signed. They haven't made the announcements yet, but I got to play it, and I've played it before. It's fun. I really dug it. I did terribly at it, but I think it's right up there with Unconscious Mind and Endless Winter, even though I know technically Johnny's not the designer of Endless Winter. He's did a lot of work on it. It's right up there with those games, and I'm really looking forward to what happens to that. Number 5 is Astra from Mind Clash Games. And this is I'm calling it a Euro and Right. Not really, but you're just kind of managing your resources, and you're filling in these stars on the different constellations, and by finishing them, if you're the one who actually finishes it, you take the card, which might have points, but everyone else gets a bonus, and you get abilities for it. And it's just a heavier feeling blank and right game. And I enjoyed it. I'd only played it at 2 players before, and it was fine, and I finally got to play it at 4, and I had a really good time. And I also have to say, big ups to Mind Clash Game for their promo cards, because they gave me the pack of the promo cards, and each one of the promo cards is a made-up constellation based on one of their other games. And then all of the powers associated with these constellations are a little more tongue-in-cheek and a little more silly. And the dinosaur one from Perseverance is you would get 2 points if you activated the card and you stood up and walked all the way around the table, and we were sitting at a long table. It was a bunch of 8-foot tables stuck together. So it was like a 24 feet down table. And if you go all the way around the table, walking like a dinosaur, you got 2 points. Anybody who followed you got 1 point. And if you made dinosaur noises, you got an extra point. And it was just ridiculous, but so much fun. And that is a promo card to me. It's potentially my favorite promo card I've ever seen, ever, period. Done. So get Astra if you like that kind of game. Blank and Rights with a little bit thinkier, a little bit longer. And if you get Astra, make sure you get that promo card. It's hilarious. Number 4 was one I'd never played before, and a buddy of mine has it, and I actually have coins, deluxe coins from the new version that I just use all the time, and that is Libertalia. Now, we played the original Libertalia, not the new Winds of Galecrest, but it's pretty much the same experience either way, is my understanding. And I'd never played this before, and it's really fun. It's a really fun game. I don't know why I've never played it before. It's pirates, and you're not drafting cards, but you're playing cards, and you're trying to outthink your opponents, and it's a little bit mean. That's not true. It's a lot mean, but it's a very fun game. I really enjoyed it. I'm definitely looking to play that again. Luckily, a friend or two of mine has Winds of Galecrest, so I'll be able to get some more games of that in. Number 3 is Merchant's Cove, which was my game of the year last year, 2 years ago now. And I always loved this game. And I ran an event with Johnny Pack, so I had a little bit less of that teaching load that I was talking about with Lunar Rush, because he was able to take over just kind of the broad overview, and then I came in and helped the players individually, so we got through it quickly. And it was a fantastic game. I usually like Merchant's Cove best at 3 players. We played a full 5-player count, and we had a really good time. Got to see Johnny play the new Game Maker character that's going to be coming with the most recent Kickstarter, which was great. Most importantly, I beat him. I beat him by 3 points, got the win, which is always fun because I don't usually beat Johnny in games. We don't play a ton of games together, but when we do, I usually lose. That was very, very satisfying. So Merchant's Cove, still love the game. Can't wait for new stuff. Hooray. Number 2 was Court of Miracles. This is another game that was one of my games of the year several years ago in 2020. And this game is a knife fight in a phone booth, and I just don't get it to the table enough. And usually when I do get it to the table, I'm playing solo with the solo variant that I made, because it's just, I don't know what it is. It just doesn't get to the table nearly as much, but I ran an event. We got a 5-player game. I taught it. There was a big break in the middle because someone had to run off and do something real quick. We played the full game, and it was still under 90 minutes. It's just fast, it's clean, it's fun, it's vicious, but not backstabby, which I really, really appreciate. I love the game, was glad to finally get another play of it in, and that's Court of Miracles at number 2. Number 1 is a game that I was like, oh, I don't want to play this. But the opportunity came up, and that was Thunder Road Vendetta from Restoration Games, a new version, and this game is pure chaos. It is so much luck. It's almost all luck in this game. You're just rolling dice, you're driving, you're moving, you're smashing into each other, hoping you survive. And it's silly, it's ridiculous, and it is fun. Thunder Road is so much fun. If you're trying to look for deep strategy, it ain't here. But if you're just looking for fun and smashing and driving and explosions, this is your game. Really fun. Really enjoyed it. And I definitely hope I get to play it again sometime soon. So, there you have it, folks. That is RageCon. It is a con that I hope I never miss again. I really enjoyed it. They did a great job. I'm so happy they invited me as a special guest, which was really, really cool. I don't know if anybody cared that I was there, but I cared. I had a great time. So, as always, if you found this video useful, please like, subscribe, share, maybe even become a channel member. Thank you so much for watching. Have a wonderful, wonderful day.